Hello and welcome to Teach, Read, Play. Today's video is a vlog. Let's just have a little chat about how everything's gone this first term at school after post-COVID lockdown and school closure. I hope you enjoy the video. Remember to comment, like and subscribe and turn the notifications on to see more content like this. So, just thought I'd have a little chat with you all about how everything's gone this half term. So, for those of you who follow me on Instagram, you would have known that I currently am teaching Year 4 and previously I was teaching in reception, so it's been quite a big change for me. So I just wanted to have a chat about that really. I know that everybody at the moment is sort of readjusting to being back at school and sort of going from a very slow pace with remote learning to real rigour again in schools and constantly on the go. So just wanted to have a chat about the first half term and how it's gone. So initially when I found out that I was going to Year 4, I felt really apprehensive about it and actually sort of was filled with dread about going to Year 4. I have previously taught in Year 5 and Year 6, so I don't think it was the age of the children because I'm quite used to teaching older children as well. But I think really just the huge change after school closing and us being off for like 5 months, I think it really dawned on me that we were going to be back at school and it would be something completely unknown to me because I haven't taught in Year 4 before, so just really out of my comfort zone. I was also really apprehensive about how the children would be as well after such a long time being off of school, and we didn't do any meet the teacher or anything like that, so I just felt a little bit disconnected from my children. So the first thing that I did as soon as we went back to school really was spend the first 2 weeks just working on their well-being and getting to know the children. So the first 2 weeks we did lots of mindfulness activities, yoga, getting to know each other, and just generally just a real slow pace, completely off timetable, and just sort of talking to the children about how they were feeling about the year ahead. We also had a lot of conversations about how they felt about coming back to school after the school closure, and I felt like it was really important for us to not just ignore what had been going on. I mean, a global pandemic is something that we cannot ignore, and I felt so passionately about talking to the children about it. I felt it was really important that the children understood what coronavirus was and also what we were going to do in school and, you know, getting back to some sort of normality. And the children had so many questions about what coronavirus was and why schools were closed and would they be closed again, and is it something that's happened to me when I was at school. And you know, really during that time I think it was just so important to reassure them that it was safe being back at school and that we were doing everything possible to make it a really lovely environment for them and just reconnecting with each other. My children in my class actually know me quite well because I taught that year group in Year 2, so I felt like they were quite accepting and willing to, you know, share ideas and also voice their concerns and ask questions. So I thought that was really important. However, with that said, I didn't want to just spend the first 2 weeks talking about what coronavirus was. I wanted the children to reconnect. So in our school we've been doing lots of work about mindfulness and well-being, and that's one of our school priorities. So I thought actually mindfulness and well-being is absolutely crucial now more than ever, and just really getting the children to remember what it is and what the practices are, because their anxiety levels were so high that actually I think that they forgot all of the tools and techniques that we had taught them about previously. So we spent quite a lot of time practicing yoga, practicing a lot of breath work, and really just nurturing and looking after one another. We spoke a lot about how to sort of regulate ourselves and identify our emotions, and we spoke a lot about what it was like to be quite anxious and stressed out, not being able to see family and friends. But then what we started to do was develop an understanding of the way that things were and why they had to be that way, and then also about what we could do and what positive things that we learned from it. And I was absolutely in awe of some of the things that the children said, you know, just the way that they realised that they can be at home, and you know, that seeing their family was really difficult, but making use of Zoom calls and FaceTime and things like that. And I thought that was really amazing. I mean, I spoke to the children a lot about my personal experiences during lockdown, and I found it really difficult, and I did experience a lot of levels of high anxiety. I really struggled to sleep. I really carried on with like my fitness regimes and things, because that was the only thing that kept me going. But I spoke to the children about how I felt, and just to sort of reassure them that that is a normal thing. So in amongst that, we did a lot of getting to know each other and getting back to school, and you know what school will be like now and some of the changes. And it was so lovely just having a couple of sessions with the children where it was just questions and answers. So I felt like the children hadn't been with me for a really long time, so we had some sessions about you know, whatever questions they wanted to ask me, and we had a little chat about things like that. So, as usual, the children always want to know your first name, how old you are, all of those little personal questions, if I'm married. So we had chats about that, and that was really lovely. But then also reciprocating that, so making sure that I wanted to know about all of the children in my class. So my children were telling me about their siblings, their pets, the things that they like to do. And that was really lovely. That was something that was really, really lovely at the beginning of the year. We did some class bingo, so printed out these sheets, and the children had to go around the class and find people who had one of the experiences on the sheet. So it might have been, you know, find somebody who has a brother, or find somebody whose favourite food is pizza, or find somebody who loves to read. And that was really lovely. The children absolutely loved just reconnecting with their classmates, and then also finding out things about their friends as well. And that was lovely, because they kept on coming back to me and they were like, oh, you know what, I've just found out that this person's got 2 dogs just like me. So that was really lovely. In amongst that, we also did a lot of just mindful activities, so sort of body scans and a lot of breath work, and we also did like character profiles about each other, and that was really lovely. So it was really nice getting back to school, and I could tell that the children were absolutely craving just, you know, connecting with their peers again and connecting with adults and just being in a different environment. It was a tough start to the year, like getting used to new ways of working around the school, one-way systems, staggered start times, staggered lunch times, eating lunch times in the classroom, which was really difficult. And you know, we spoke to the children about why we had to do that, and you know, there were ups and downs, there were times they found it really difficult, but also other times where actually we sort of realised that this is what it is, we're having to accept it, but like, let's be grateful to just being back at school. And actually the children were so incredibly grateful for that. So as a teacher, teaching post lockdown was a bit crazy. When we did get back to full timetable again, and the expectations were on them again for like reading and writing, you know, getting back up to the standards where they should be, I just felt really conscious about having high expectations, as you have to have as a teacher, always wanting the best for the children, but then equally like going with my core beliefs was that actually we need to check that these children are okay. Are they ready for learning? Are they ready to be immersed in the national curriculum again? because if they're not happy, then they're not going to learn. So I thought it was crucial making sure that we looked after their wellbeing and nurtured them during this time. And when we did start writing again and doing maths again and, you know, more formal learning, it was tough. I noticed really big gaps, even for my strongest learners. There were huge gaps and things that I knew that they could do before lockdown. They were such a talented cohort of children, and they were great at writing, but when we came back, things like capital letters and full stops were missing. Handwriting was, you know, nowhere near the standard that it used to be. So I think that was tricky. That was really tough. But actually, you know, rehearsing and practicing the skills and going back to our basics and building upon that each day, and me just being really explicit when I was writing with them or doing maths and really breaking it down to the most simplest terms, the children started to pick up the skills really quickly again. And I realised that actually maybe we're not as far back as what I thought that we could be. And they started to pick up the skills, and now at the end of autumn term, I'm absolutely in awe of some of their work. It's just been phenomenal. Some of the things that they have created, the things that they've learned, the way that they've become more articulate again, has absolutely blown me away. So now I'm sort of in the position where I'm not worried about their learning anymore at all. Their learning is good, it's great. And I'm not necessarily worried about their well-being so much, because they seem to have really settled in well and just sort of got back into a sort of way of life, or the new way of life, the new way of school. So that's been really good. But I have found it really weird. There's been like a weird sense of pressure amongst all of us, and it hasn't come from our leadership team, and it hasn't necessarily, I don't really know where it's come from. I mean, sometimes I worry that it's come from government guidelines and continuing with Ofsteds and continuing with SATs and things like that. Sometimes I wonder, is that where the pressure's coming from? So, you know, putting that lost learning aside and actually just really enjoying their learning, we've really made good use of curriculum time. That's been amazing. We have done so much fun stuff in the curriculum, and I have absolutely ensured that we are not doing core subjects in the curriculum time, and actually we're doing really fun and exciting learning, and the children absolutely loved that, which has been great. But it's been a really weird end to the term, and that is sort of, I think, based on obviously the way that the world is at the moment. So Christmas plays, Christmas workshops, getting parents involved, that's been incredibly tough. So we've tried to work really closely with our parents as well, but with this whole thing with a social distance and Christmas, it's been really, really tough. But the children are still having a great time, and we've made sure that we can make Christmas as special as possible for our children. And we've also been sharing some of the work that the children have been doing on social media so that our parents can still interact with us, which I think was absolutely crucial. We still had parents' evening as well to make sure that we could keep the parents in the loop. But really, our core focus during Parents' Evening was just about the children's well-being and how they're starting to begin to engage in learning again. So yeah, I think that's it. That's sort of wrapping it up for me. But I just want to say that it's been such a tough term for all teachers, all children, all parents. And just to remember really that actually we're all here to do the same thing. We're all here to support children, make things the best that we can for them, and just make them feel, you know, happy, safe, and at comfort and at ease during these unprecedented times. So yeah, just want to say, if you're a teacher, parent, child, keep going. We're all in this together, and you know, those days that it's tough, let's talk to one another and stop and just accept that it's okay to feel like that, but let's reconnect with one another. I hope you enjoyed my first vlog. Remember to comment, like and subscribe. to see if you like this content, and I'll put out some more. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.